Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer1745 here with my continuing playthrough of, Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Eyes. And of course, we're playing as Germany. You guessed right. Okay, let's continue this. We have invaded South Africa. We are trying to secure the port. They're too far away from any headquarters. That's why they're not even attached, really. And so they will... Oh, we need to increase speed. They'll get there the 9th of October. Again, mega provinces, way too big. And Romania, yes, you may have energy. Hopefully supplies are... Oh, we got rid of a destroyer. Good, good, good. Okay, good. They're attacking these British 5th Light Infantry. Looks like they'll take them even though they're having... I hit that too many times. Okay, that worked. Okay, well... Let's see about getting some oil from... Romania. Yeah, they still have a bunch of crude. Offer trade agreement. Still very unsatisfied with how the money situation's been. Just that it's reporting that we're getting positive amounts and it keeps going down is what I'm unsatisfied with. I think it's a bug in the system. Now, new guy who posted, nothing wrong with that. Just don't remember his name, and not somebody I'm used to corresponding with. Was asking and talking a bit about send you deeper into Africa. Late war mechanics in the game. Well, this is something in a way I brought up a long time ago, and you still see periodically I talk about it because it has, in a hacky sort of way, been fixed a bit. Is when, you know, I attack somebody, and this is just a symptom of it, and I'm attacking them, and I keep enough organization, and it goes to where I lose strength and the unit shatters. Where, of course, outside of some super elite bonsai units, and most of those sort of death charge bonsais, quite honestly, were sort of no hope situations, and they just didn't quite want to surrender. They weren't really those sort of madmen that were, they weren't all kamikazes or whatever. It was just, which you can find in a lot of other units if you particularly, have huge cultural impact problems, which Japan did with surrendering. But most of the time, they wouldn't, like the Guadalcanal campaign, the Japanese did a very skillful evacuation of the troops. When they could, they would retreat, when there was a hope to do so. And so I'm not necessarily arguing against, and see, that's the situation, those bonsai charges I'm talking about. I don't know that they did any on Iwo Jima, but on some of the other islands and things, those were attacks, yes, but those were more of a overall defensive engagement, in the Hearts of Iron 3 situation, it would be the Americans attacking the island, the Japanese defending the island. The final sort of act is a bonsai suicide charge. Again, those would be incredibly rare in World War II, you know, in the sense that it's this attacking force is coming in here until it cracks, you know, of 100% men. That's long been a problem. The viewer was talking about well, these are getting fixed. Maybe here we can see now. Oh, I think we can see it here still. No, here. No, they're already repairing. Well, you can see it here. Is combat that's oh, you keep starting here. You keep. Well, do we still have transports here? Okay, fly, air supply, there. Not the Great Siege of Moscow or Leningrad or Stalingrad that's really long, that completely destroys the infrastructure. We're having battles that aren't that bad, that long, that are tearing up the infrastructure here. Hold on just a second. Hello? You got the wrong number, sorry. Sorry for the interruption, just a phone call. But I thought it might have been something actually important. So, back. So it's tearing up the terrain, you know, it's not a Battle of Berlin or something that does legitimately tear up. And so heavily, not just it's down by 1 bar or something of damaged terrain or whatever, it's doing a lot. That is part of a symptom of this late war problem, and this isn't that late, this is 43, and it gets worse later. Talking about that now, what they have done is a yearly balancing mechanism that starts out early on, I think, giving benefits to every nation, you know, across the board on some of the, you know, soft attack or whatever. I forget exactly what it is, but giving it straight across the board to every nation. And then as the war, or as years go on, they start reducing the benefits to where there's 0, like in 1940. And I'm just doing this from memory, so as you guys know, I don't remember these kind of details with very good clarity. And then every year after that, they start giving to everybody across the board penalties to sort of counteract all of these things, basically. You know, all this super organization, increase soft attack, increase assault, whatever it may be, you know, different one, you know, whatever the different texts and doctrines that are just bonusing up. I do know that they are working on some amounts of rebalancing for the next version, but this is some of the issues. Now, he was also talking about air war and naval war, well, in which they're high casualty rates, brief battles, high casualty rates. I don't know that that's so wrong, because you can look at you know, Bismarck versus sinking the Hood, and was it the Prince of Wales? Maybe, I think that gets hit but splits out of there real quick. And then you have the Prince of Wales and the Renowned are sunk by air power, because he's also talking about the maybe over effectiveness of air power in versus naval power, because it's sort of skewed and works differently. And I don't know that, just how badly it is. But you have the the sinkings of the 2 British battleships here, and then of course you can go out to Midway and taking out 4 Japanese carriers in a 24-hour period in one air-naval battle. And one of the carriers got hit by 1 bomb that just came in, hit, and I don't think it was fuel, but something it got in and hit, and it just, not instantaneously, but would be burning and then catch something else on fire, and then would catch something, and just taking it out. So I don't know that I have a problem with the level at any. Now, I'm, again, if you've watched long enough, I'm not the best on the details of the game mechanics, and I know I'm talking about game mechanics now because it's a valid topic. I very much play as I understand how things work in the real world, and hope, and until I'm really shown that it's not just doesn't quite work that way, but it's counterproductive, hope that the Hearts of Iron 3 developers, the Black Ice developers, are getting it as right as reasonably practical. They're getting things are working right. So I hope, that's how I play. So even if I don't, know how good or bad X or Y is, or the best thing, I'm just sort of winging it to what I know works historically, and I can be quite correct or incorrect. So it's just something to keep in mind, that they do have the balancing situation on in hand, or they're working on it. They've already done some for this, and absolutely, if you're talking late game, 46, 47, yeah, it's probably way out of balance by that time. So looking for Naval Commander Greece. There it is. Griechenland, or however the Germans say that. So keep that in mind as you play, if you're playing a really late game. Talking to Django the other day, after he's sort of like defeated the U.S., he's still playing, and he's doing what are you still playing? He was upgrading all of the former Russian territory, all of this or whatever he has, to max level infrastructure, and then he goes to war with a remnant Soviet Union and defeats them, and eventually you're just playing around with the game, and that's fine if it's entertaining to you, but the game isn't designed to do that well. It is sort of kind of, but getting a bit out, if you're trying to fight Germany to the death as the Allies push in on you, that's somewhat it's done, but it's once you get too much done. Okay, our intelligence report on the Quebec Conference Quadrant are begin discussing plans for invasion of Europe, Operation Overlord. Okay, so they're getting Allied air campaign, whatever. Okay, thought this was fascinating. Found a booklet for it. Den, I can get Den pretty well. I may be mispronouncing it how the Czechs would pronounce it, but Den Mlades, I mean, really, people, vowels, and okay, I don't get all the different umlauts and for a different emphasis, sorry, but vowels. Youth Sports Day for Bohemia and Moravia. We need to further... Oh, this is another word that... Gleichschaltung, which I know the meaning is bringing into line. I just keep forgetting how to pronounce it. That's sort of the Nazis, what they're doing. And they started doing that at the very earliest days of getting in power. And part of that is just standardizing spelling. I mean, some of the stuff prior to the Nazis, there was no, at least this is my understanding, again, I don't read or speak it, but there was no standardized spelling for German. There was different regional spellings. I'm sure a lot of words were standardized, I'm sure, you know, in a quite large way. But there was really sort of bringing, and then obviously once you get in Austria into it, there's bringing in a standardization of things like spelling universally instead of different regions and other things. So that has both a non-sinister and a sinister bringing into line. So some of it is just like, yeah, standardized spelling. So something that we need today for computers, you know, to have it. Okay. The people of Bohemia and Moravia using sports has worked with the German youth, and we can use the same method with the youth of Bohemia and Moravia, as well as the National Socialist events. We have a nice parade in Wenceslas Square in central Prague. Nice flag. So this is the cover of it. We can see leading up to the sports events, they have a parade, and you can see there's a lot of people, not just in the parade, but on the sides watching this. You can see this street's going back quite a ways, you know. Lots of people watching. This isn't just... Well, I guess what I'm saying is one, there's a lot of people, and two, these aren't just like... well, you know, somebody put up fake news thing. You know, a reporter standing in front of a crowd of people with signs and banners and whatnot, and then there was somebody else up on like the third floor looking out there and saw that... the line of people, protesters behind them, was exactly the frame width of it, meaning they got the camera shot, and okay, everybody get tight, they get group, and okay, yeah, set the frame up, not showing that there's just 30-40 people there. I'm not saying there wasn't 30 or 40 people there, but the way it looked like there could be hundreds and people spreading out greater if you just widen the shot, pulled out. Nope, it's just this. Reporters do this all the time, partially because of their political agenda, partially just to make the event seem important. But this seems to be now today, how did they have to poke the people hard to get out onto the streets? I don't know, but this is in Prague. There are a fair amount of Germans living in Prague before, you know, or, you know, during when it was Czechoslovakia, or shall we say German-speaking peoples that might very well like Germany being in charge, and that could fill these streets, but I don't know. I'm just analyzing what I'm seeing through the propaganda, because I'm realizing that this is propaganda. Okay. Dr. Francisc, probably butchering that, Turner, leader of youth group of Vladka, which is youth group of the flag, basically is what that means, is the master of ceremonies. That's him there. He, as pictured, with the Prime Minister Krajcik and SS Oberbannführer Fletcher and Minister Moravec in the attendance. That's Moravec. He's sort of more or less the powerhouse of the collaborationist Nazi Party. That's the SS Obersturmbannführer, and that's the Prime Minister here. Yeah, he's higher, but he's really sort of the power. Okay, we'll take a look at the events. Didn't really look. Okay, and so here's pretty big, I think, the primary stadium in, you know, Prague. Looks like all the seats are filled. And do I think all of these people are out yay for Nazi rule of Czechoslovakia? No. This is a youth organization that a lot of youth joined, as it's a Czech youth organization. It's somewhat like the Hitler Youth. I don't know that it's compulsory to be in it. I don't know. I'm sure it's advantageous to be in it, and I do know that they were propagandizing the members, but I don't necessarily know. Was it propaganda, whatever. We're just here for the youth activities, generally speaking, and don't pay attention to propaganda. I don't know for these, but these are basically supposedly mostly Czechs, not Germans in these groups. And this could just be their families, They could be people that all hate the Nazis, all hate the Germans for invading them, but they're here because their children are doing sports competitions and they just come to watch. But it is a big crowd. I'm again trying to analyze this. So, that should be how many people. Damn. I wish I still had my editor. Okay, and so we can see them doing the basic sports, Olympic type of track and field type events. And yes, the girls get out and do it too. So that is very much a thing as well. And, the winners of giving out the prizes for the different events. So yeah, so that's some of the stuff they're doing to Germanicize the Bohemian and Moravian residents. And I say that in several ways. They do talk about they sort of maybe want 1/3 of the people to disappear. And by that, I mean die in some method or another. But they do think that they can... Maybe those people, maybe some of the other people, they'll eventually move east. But they do think they can get a lot of the people to become German. Which sort of, I don't really know how much they, specifically for the Czechs, how Aryan do they think they are. But they really want to, and are really working to push German culture. Like in the schools, and everything. Our stockpiles are big enough. Yeah, everything except for oil. So, they were definitely had that program where they just wanted to erase Poland and the Polish people. It's a different situation there. Okay. The Panzer Division Norwegian was formed in October 43 from the staff. Panzer Brigade 21. Elements of the 25th Panzer Division. It was used to reform the Panzer Division, and some elements were used to form Panzer Brigade Norwegian. Okay. Yeah, sure. We'll take it. Infantry Division for our 709. 15th Wave, largely. Okay, so it's out in Utah. The 3rd Folsom Jaeger Division. Yes, please. Don't even hardly have to think about this. The 509th. Yes, please. It still says, well, it had a few things hit, but... Okay. The hood is lost. Good. And we have the sort of monthly outbreak of partisans. No. Okay, you go there, you go there. Okay, Czechoslovakian troops formed under British command. Our agents report that Free Czechoslovakian forces are established in England to continue the fight, and we will take care of them on our next battlefield. Okay. The 18th Artillery Division, this first purely artillery division, which was intended to be an independent and movable, powerful force, was to be created with the executing a Weisung by Hitler himself. This was based upon estimated necessary use of strong point attack and defense. Okay, so this is a division to concentrate artillery in one area. Okay, yeah, we'll take that. Danish People's Defense, or was a minor grouping of Danish Schalburg Corps formed in 43, made up of civilians and some who were expected to provide financial backing. Okay. Okay, Kampfgruppe Bach. I should just... I think this is not it. This is that. Okay. I like my conf groups. I really like my conf groups. I don't want a huge number of them. Okay, there's something in this stack here. Oh, that's the super artillery. How did that get there? Oh wow, that division should have been broken up a long time ago. Okay, there we go. Okay, I found that actually pretty easy, and I didn't know that I was going to find that. And yeah, comp groups are too powerful to just let us build them, but I want to keep a few. Basically all of them that we get. Allow the RAD W, that's the women's group of RAD, Luftwaffen Einsatz. During the strategic air campaign against the Reich, the RAD W at the time enlarged up to 13,000 females were in the service of the air warning service communications. Okay, good. We like the manpower air defense network. That's very good. Lots of battles going on here. Okay, well these fighters aren't... Well, it's at nighttime, so they are told to fly at night. They don't do the best against fighters. I'm mostly hoping to go after those where we saw the American bombers just a second ago. That's what I hope they do. And I like, again, I'm going to compare 3 and 4. I like that in 4 I can specify my heavy fighters to target bombers. I really like that. Okay, yeah. Okay. I mean, it's no big deal right now, of course, but get these guys up here. They're okay, and they ended up, I got them all the way up here. They're just a little too late to get in the fight here, because it didn't last as long, because last time it was in winter, I know, and it was like super long battle, but so, yep, we'll do this. And yeah, see, I don't like to cheat. It's just, you know, I don't get a replacement unit for the conf groups. Where this we are, oh, it's in the production queue, it looks like. Okay, production queue, yes. Oh, and we'll move the artillery division to the top. Let's see that artillery division. Ooh, lots of heavy artillery there. That would really be a concentration of force. That is a better unit. Some mobile troops, which sort of wasted. You know, the motorized unit. You know, 1, it's in the mountains, and 2, it's just with, you know, animal towed transport. But then you've got the ski troops and the mountain troops and the pack artillery. So that's actually a pretty good unit. Yeah, we like that. And we saw Hermann Goering Division. We do have the Hermann Goering Division, but we will do... Okay, keep Goering happy. Okay, Hermann Goering Division is formed. Okay, yes, we upgraded with the 5 additional Luftwaffe regiment remnants of the 3 separate parachute units that had fought in Crete on the Eastern Front. These will appear. Keep Goering happy. Luftwaffe Absubdum. I guess that's... I don't know. Just remove that and maybe something else happens later on. I don't know, but I'll take this because this should give us places the Hermann Goering Division in our production queue. Okay. And again, you should, whenever you get those, move them to the top, because they are partially completed, and they will happen sooner. And it's a pretty good unit there. So it removes those. So yeah, so when we're replacing something that's already there, that's fine. I'm good with that. Because we're replacing, not just taking away. Like off groups. Okay, oh, well, we could send some supplies to there. Oh, we gotta come back, so let's take that there. Support that attack, and support that attack. Just might as well. And okay, so another sort of semi-impronounceable type name. But we should just come down here and find it down here. Yeah, there we go. More supplies. We're still having supply problems here. And we're still slowly moving in. Probably should have put motor transport or something like that in here to get these better, but I was focusing on beach invasion effects. Okay, and the 711 division, yes, open 7 days a week, 11 hours a day. And the 4th Fallschirmjäger division, yes, we'll take that. Let's take a quick, well, let's save this. Save game. That way, if we do have a crash, I won't have to replay it all. But like I said, let's take a look at some of the new units and get them organized up. Okay, yep, looks like good, and we're gonna leave them there because we can load them on transports once he's organized and drop them somewhere if we need to after we remove the anti-tank guns. If you're gonna use these units as, which a lot of the times, or sort of second half of the war, definitely they were as elite, sometimes motorized, sometimes not really, elite infantry units. Leave the anti-tank guns, they'll help fight off the Soviets, but you can't invade. And here, let's give them a defensive general, because we may very well be facing an invasion into Bruges at some point. Oh, skill level. Now skill level 2, we're not. Okay, no, not a Luftwaffe skill level guy. Okay. Defensive, there we go. And so we have a Danish defense unit. I'm gonna just leave it there. Another one of these guys. Thought I saw briefly, no, the SS. Well, he's really good, so what we're gonna do here is they move rather fast with this, because this I think you can cheat and stick on several of these transport units and get them going really fast. But what I will do here is, because I think going across rivers and going into fighting into towns, they will suck without some engineers. So let's throw on some engineers for that. So they'll actually move slower. So we can see instead of 8 something, they're 7 something. But they're still reasonably quick. I mean, they're not super slowed down by motorized engineers, but they are slower. Yeah, strategic movement. Okay, and let's check here. Okay, and commando, yes, that's all right. Again, we'll have to move those. The reason I'm sort of pedantically pointing out, like, removing this stuff. How do I say this? Trying to be very polite here. It is not that I think people are stupid, or viewers or whatever are stupid. I don't. I think people get halfway through with what they're saying, or what I'm saying, or what they're reading in directions, and they think they understand. Oh yeah, oh yeah, do that, and then they go and do it, and it's not what was described to them. I found this in different training things and whatnot. So, you can, so a lot of people will sort of presume or think they know what the thing to do is, and they're wrong, and you need to tell them more. Okay, pro tip if you ever want to train somebody for anything. First, you do it. And I have, not really as any sort of full-time job, but I have been a firearms trainer. In my life, just a bit. I've been worked in the firearms industry a lot, but just a trainer a bit. First, you sort of demonstrate it. If you want to add sort of first you can just demonstrate it, but you definitely want to demonstrate it and show, talk your way through, all the steps. Okay. Then you have them do it, but you tell them every step to do. If it's working with a firearm, or if it's working with anything, a computer, any sort of thing. You have them do it, but you say press return and then R, and then click here, and you tell them to, you walk them through all of it. They still won't have learned how to do it yet. And I don't, I'm talking about me. If you're showing me something new for the first time that has several steps to it, more than just one or two steps, I won't have learned it. Even at that point, what you need to do is then have them do it without you telling how to do it, so that they start doing the first 2 or 3 steps that they learned, and then it's like, what's the next step? And at the point that they confess or overly demonstrate or whatever, that they don't know what to do, then you tell them the next step. And so you keep doing this through to get somebody trained up on something, and this can work with anything. Okay. Slovakian security. Okay, they're moving east, right. Now, I did notice here, and I dropped these down. Okay, these are all just going here. They're fast to build. Very fast to build. Rather cheap to build. All these units once, and I know I have some transports there heading up to there, and those are going somewhere else. We may send some more soon. Transport, and we're also waiting for maybe we have more pack artillery. Okay, we're waiting for these to get produced too. Those are going to go as headquarters and transport to these units here. The African rifles, at least the proper colonial ones, maybe not the colonial militia. But at least those, so that we have some decent ones. And I think we're going to end the episode here. I want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank you for liking the videos. I really do appreciate that. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And hey, I really love hearing from you. So post something. Could just be hi. I'll say hi back. If you can think of anything more in depth, a criticism, a correction, what you want to see more of, if I'm not showing you enough of Asia or whatever, please post that. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.